You're at a house party. The scream is screaming, and suddenly the whole room explodes like somebody just won the lottery. People are hugging strangers, somebody's on a chair, someone is genuinely about to cry. And you're standing there with a plastic cup in your hand, thinking, are we watching the same thing? Because to you, it's 11 strangers running around a field, and to everyone else, it's life and death. Here's the thing. That moment is when people start side-eyeing you. They label you as boring, cold, no personality. Translation, why aren't you joining the tribe? But that's not a personality defect. That's not you missing out. That's your brain running a different operating system. And today, we're breaking down exactly why. According to neuroscience and social psychology, sports obsession isn't just fun. It's a chemical cocktail. Dopamine, oxytocin, testosterone, reward circuitry, and tribal identity firing like a casino jackpot. And if you don't care about sports, you're not broken. You're the person whose brain doesn't get bribed by vicarious competition. I'm going to give you 7 truths that will change how you see sports fans and yourself. And by the end, you'll understand why your indifference can be a hidden advantage in relationships, focus, and self-worth. If you're someone who's ever said, I really don't care who won, and people acted like you confessed a crime, welcome. You're about to feel very seen. Let's start with what nobody talks about. Sports aren't only entertainment. They're modern tribes with better branding. For some people, picking a team is like picking a flag. It's us versus them. It's belonging, loyalty, shared stories, shared enemies. And when they watch their team, their brain doesn't treat it like a neutral event. It treats it like group bonding. Translation, their nervous system goes, these are my people. But your brain doesn't auto-install that software. You don't fuse your identity into a logo. You don't feel incomplete without being part of a crowd. Here's where it gets interesting. That difference isn't a personality flaw. It's a different meaning engine. Sports fans don't only enjoy a game. They get micro hits of anticipation. Every play, every possession, every near miss. That's dopamine, the chase chemical, not the happiness chemical, the keep watching chemical. Think of it like this. Their brain turns a game into a slot machine. Your brain looks at the slot machine and goes, so what's the prize? Because uncertainty is the hook. Will they win? Will they choke? Will there be a comeback? Here's the kicker. That unpredictability keeps the brain craving the next moment. But you don't get the same reward from vicarious competition. So while they're riding an emotional roller coaster, you're watching a train go by. And honestly, that calm makes people uncomfortable because your neutrality exposes how intense they're being. But wait, it gets better. Listen closely after a win. They don't say they won, they say we won. And after a loss, it's fine, they played terrible. Notice the switch? That's reflected identity. They borrow victory like it's a jacket, but you don't do that. Your self-worth doesn't rent emotional highs from strangers. You don't need a scoreboard to feel valuable. Think about that. And here's what nobody talks about. That makes your self-concept more stable. When their team loses, their mood drops. When your life is hard, you deal with your life, not someone else's season. Here's where it gets interesting. That stability is a superpower. People call you boring because you don't scream at a TV. But what you actually have is emotional independence. You don't wake up angry because a ref made a call. You don't spend Monday recovering from Sunday. You don't lose hours to a drama you can't control. It's like everyone else is day trading their feelings, and you're running a long-term investment account. And honestly, in a world designed to hijack attention, being harder to hijack is rare. Screenshot line. Some people borrow meaning from a team. You build meaning in-house. If you've ever felt judged for not caring, drop a brain in the comments. Now here's the second superpower. This one explains your different kind of passion. People assume you don't care because you don't care about sports. Translation, they confuse interest with capacity. You do care. You just don't spend your emotional energy on things where your caring doesn't change the outcome. So you invest in places with real return. Your relationships, your goals, your craft, your ideas, your future. Sports fans are great at parasocial investment, one-sided connection. You prefer direct engagement, where your presence matters. And that's not coldness, that's selectivity. Here's the thing. That selectivity often creates deeper focus, deeper work, deeper relationships. But let's be honest, there is one edge case. Sometimes not caring is preference. Sometimes it's armor. Ask yourself, do you skip sports because it's genuinely boring or because sports culture once made you feel excluded, embarrassed, or not enough? Both are real. It's healthy when it brings you peace. It becomes a problem when it becomes isolation from people you actually want. That's the line. And if you're on the healthy side of that line, then you need to hear this next part. So the next time someone asks, "Did you see the game?" and you genuinely couldn't care less, remember, you're not broken, you're not boring, you're just playing a different game. One where you don't outsource identity, one where you don't rent joy from a scoreboard. Tell me in the comments, are you team I watch the game or team I watch people lose their minds about the game? If this hit, subscribe, because the next video explains why quiet people process information differently and why that's a serious advantage. You're not weird, you're wired differently.